I'm Anth.
I'm Luch.
And we are the WARBIRDS.
And you are tuning into Foxx on the Wire!
You're listening to Foxx on the Wire podcast. Yeah, he was awesome. I saw Megadeth and In Flames I don't know, a few months ago, and that was really good. And
you went to that gig? Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, really good.
Did you go on that?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So I kind of wanted to go to also. I mean, I've seen Megadeth years ago when Nick Menzel was still playing.
Oh, man, what year was that? Like the 90s?
So it was in the Palais.
Palace. The old Palace.
Yeah. And but I wanted to go see Kiko as much as the band and the songs. You know what I mean?
I saw Angra in 2005 at the Corner Hotel.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
And I wish I loved them back then as much as I do now, because I don't think I actually appreciate it. Because I was just getting into it and trying to understand it and learn about it. And fucking hell. But anyway,
still you saw them, though,
I got to see my favourite drummer play, so that was good. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, the drummer for Megadeth too, I've forgotten his name now, but he was fucking incredible.
Dirk Verburen.
Yeah. He was incredible.
Yeah, he's sick. He's was he Soilworks drummer?
Maybe. I'm not sure actually.
Yeah. I think he was in one of those big like Swedish bands.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he was fucking great to watch.
Yeah.
It's nothing like watching a good drummer. So
no doubt. Yeah, true.
Yeah. All right. So should we kick off?
Yeah. Let's hit it. Because Anth's going to be. What do you reckon? What time do you reckon going to?
What have we got here? Yeah, I've got it going by about 8, so we've got about 45 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that. Is that enough, man?
Yeah, I think so. It just depends how much Luch starts talking. That's all.
Oh yeah, you just have to just you know.
Man, we've done every podcast I've done with Luch. I reckon.
This is 3.5 days.
Yeah, such a massive editing job.
I was going to say we've only just scratched the surface as well.
Yeah, I know. All right,
Cool. We'll speak a bit louder.
Yeah, well, we won't. We have to speak louder. It's how we thought. All right?
Man, the drive to Albury was interesting. We threw cadence in the car, man.
Man.
No chance I was going to fall asleep with the wheel, man. No chance.
No, you have to throw him in the boot. It's probably good to keep you awake on the road anyway. So,
100%.
It felt like a half an hour, not 3.5. That's for sure.
It was actually a quick.
It was good.
Yeah.
Back was very easy. Yeah.
All right, folks, welcome to episode number 85 of Foxx on the Wire. We have a couple of very special guests today. One very familiar face who you might recognise from a few previous episodes. But we have Anth and Luciano from WARBIRDS. Welcome, fellas.
Thank you.
Great to be here again, mate. Great to see you. You're looking beautiful as always.
Oh, as are you, sir. As are you. And
very
nice.
It's good to pop the cherry as well. So,
no worries. I'll never pass up an opportunity to speak with the man, Luch. So,
yeah. We're off the wire. This is great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having us, man.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you too, Anth. And congratulations on the new single, Bring Back Your Love, which was released on September 7th. That is a killer track, I must say. So congratulations.
Excellent. Thanks, man.
So I was lucky enough to catch you guys. When was it? A couple of weeks ago now. At the Tote launching.
Yeah, the 9th of September.
Yeah, back in the main band room, the Tote. Still the same as always. And I think that was the week that we found out, well, the Tote was essentially saved.
Yeah.
Brought, right. Yeah. So it was probably a good week for you guys to play and get some publicity.
Well, we played there. Luch didn't play that show, however, he was at the gig. So we played there the week that all the drama happened when the Possible campaign went through. And then it was up in the air still. No, it was before then, I think. But it was all up, and it was a big mess of people boycotting it and bagging the Tote, and we actually had the gig booked that weekend.
Oh, right.
weren't even sure what was going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, look, so we went through with another awesome band called Revelation, and another band which I won't mention pulled the pin on us and then kind of the week because they were worried about obviously about the what do you call it? The people bagging them on social media and the fallout. You know what I mean? So
the bad publicity.
So we played when it was up in the air and when it was kind of all good.
Done deal, and it felt good. Yeah, there was a good vibe in the air that night. I wasn't there. Yeah. It was a breath of fresh air. It was great. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great night, and that's obviously the first time I've seen you guys play, and I guess one of the first things that got me about you guys was the mad vocal harmonies. I always appreciate, a twin duo vocal, and that just really, really cut through, and that was awesome. So, and of course, your awesome guitar work, Anth. That's probably maybe the first gig I've ever left that I've actually wanted to go home and play a Stratocaster. So
well, it's funny you say that, man. I acquired that guitar last year. Not that I need it anymore. And I was actually working at Guitar Paradise in Richmond. Obviously, Luch helped me get that job there, man. So shout out to
Brothers in Paradise.
To the guys, that's right, man. But that's just quickly, if we can touch on gear, but that's a Japanese JV modified reissue of the Jap Strats from the early 80s when Japanese were doing the Tellers and Strats. And that guitar, you've got a few nice guitars I can see in the background there, man. It's one of those guitars that when you pick up off the shelf or if someone's selling something, and the moment you hold it, it just feels good. The weight was nice, and then I played it. And after a few weeks, you do your tune-up, so you're trying amps out and pedals and whatnot. And I kept grabbing this thing. I go, I just want to play. It makes you want to play, and it's vintage Apple pickups, and I just love it. It's so cool. Like you're left in the open. There's not that much compression, so if you can pull it off, you're going to sound great. But if you're a bit sloppy, you're going to sound bad. So it's just been great, and that's been my main Strat since then. My main number one kind of thing. So I just love it.
Yeah, it's I guess I don't know. It could be just me, but that's not the probably most common guitar in that style of music. Am I wrong in saying 100%. That?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it worked, and obviously you played the shit out of it. And I don't know, it kind of looked like it was maybe a little bit of a bigger body than your usual Strat. Would I be, or is
You'd be wrong because I think it's just white and it just pops, so it looks really big.
Yep.
Yeah, so it stands out a bit more. Whereas if you've got let's say a burst, like a vintage burst or something like that, the outline's black, so the guitar has the impression that it's a bit smaller. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the same standard size, man. It's just white, so it just looks bigger, I guess. And you can see the outline better, and
Yeah, no, it definitely worked, and I thought that's not a bit of an unusual guitar for that style of music, but fuck, worked, and you played the shit out of it, and as did the man next to you on the drums, who I had my eyes firmly fixed on most of the gig because, as I said, I always like watching a good drummer. So, how did the WARBIRDS hook up with Luch?
We've been mates for a long time. We first met at a gig at the Prague, which we always talk about in the stories when we first met because they're very, very similar, but coming from different angles,
We did play in bands together. We've done Moments Apart and Tear Gas. That's always been a thing there. So that was as far as the musical kind of standpoint as us playing together. And that all started at around, I'd say about 2014. It was 2014 when we got Anth to come in for Moments Apart because the other guitarist had left the band and so forth. But we were talking. I was actually talking about this on the phone today. I love telling people about the story about how I met Anth. Would you like me to elaborate on that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, he was. This is back in 2012 when it started, or mid 2012. 2012. My singer from Tear Gas, from Moments Apart, Al, we were going to go and catch up with our friend Danny, who was playing in one of the bands at the Prague. Do you remember the Prague? I think it was North or Thornbury.
Street.
Man, what a venue. Oh, it was
I know.
Big place, man,
such a great joint. So we had to go see our friend Danny, who's obviously in WARBIRDS now as well. So it's big connections here, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then we were going to go watch this other band, the Scarlets, who we're also friends with, and it was going to be.
And it was our missus at the time as well.
Oh, I was the singer of the Scarlets at the time. Right, but about that, and it was Anth's first gig. I didn't know anything about Anth. I just thought, okay, it's cool. We're new guitars, just go check him out, whatever. So anyway, we're at the gig. We go see Danny's band. He's played for, fantastic, and then we stick around and watch Al's partner's gig, and go check out the new guitarist and whatever. And it was like, for me personally, one thing for me is like, as a drummer, as a performer, as a teacher, as a musician, like if I'm watching a gig, whatever it might be, I'm always looking at the drummer. I just naturally just looking straight at the drummer. It doesn't matter what level they're, how good they are. I can't help but just looking at the drummer. I'll start looking elsewhere. It's like, I really should look at other members on the stage here. But I know that my eyes just end up veering back into the space of the drummer. But anyway, on this particular night, my eyes couldn't get off this guy. This is the first time ever that I've seen Satriani, I've seen Vi, I've seen all these guys, and I've still ended up looking at their drummer. This is the first time I've ever been to a gig where I couldn't stop looking at the guitarist. And like after every song, I'll be looking over at Al going, "Jeez, this mother, my God!" I love his sound, his presence, his facial expression, the tone, everything that he was doing was just hit me right here, and that was it. It was love at first sight.
Yeah, I was going to say it was love at first sight.
That was it. Sorry,
I was going to say it was love at first sight.
It was. And straight after the gig, I'm like, I went straight to the front of the stage.
Yeah,
he's trying to.
I think you actually made, because you knew Nick. And,
I knew a lot of people there.
I think you were kind of making an excuse to get up there. So I don't know if you people said, "Hey,
yeah." I had to interview. I went straight to him. He was packing up his pedal.
I remember.
And I was like, I won't hold you up, and he got to pack up his shit. But I said, mate, you were just awesome. Everything about you is fantastic. I love what I'm hearing and seeing. Great job. I introduced myself. So I told him I was playing the Moments Apart. Obviously, you knew Al and all the whole connection there. So and then just from there, just the whole connections and everything, we ended up just hanging out, having drinks.
But I'd go and see their band play as well. So I'd go see Moments Apart play. And I didn't know Danny at all. So I knew Al, obviously, I actually knew Al through Tear Gas back then. I was playing another band, and we were playing the Gershel Room and the Green Room, all those venues that aren't really happening now. But and I saw you guys play at Revolver.
Ah, yes.
I think it might have been the first time, yeah.
Yep.
And I did the same thing, and I think we played at Evelyn too.
Evelyn was the launch. Was our EP launch.
Yeah. And I'm going, fucking look at this guy fucking
actually,
man,
Great. I think you were there.
Oh.
EP launch.
At Revolver?
No, Evelyn.
The Evelyn.
Oh, the Evelyn. Oh, shit.
I think you were there, 2012.
Ooh.
You was Cricky and our good friend.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. 11 years ago. Wow.
So, but that's how that all came about. And look, so through the years, like the last 10 years, we've actually ended up just being awesome mates, whether we're doing band work or just being mates. That's been the really cool. That's been the most, I guess, humbling and rewarding thing of it. The friendships you make out of things is you take away, the day-to-day, work or business side of things.
That's the connection also with the band, though. You've been playing, you have that relationship, so it's an understanding, but you also gel musically as well.
Yep.
And that's what I found. That was Lucha's second gig with us at the Tote, and it was probably playing some of those songs the third or fourth time. You know what I mean? So we only had about 2.5 rehearsals or something like that leading up.
Yeah.
So we went super rehearsal, super busy, man. So just to make time, that shit happens, and someone might need to leave early or whatever. So we're kind of juggling. Danny's super busy with Kiss Troy and a Blaze as well. But we all did our homework, so we get together, we have that connection. So I'm super critical when it comes to the music of myself, especially. But when we get together, and as long as that feeling's there, whether we hit bum notes here or there, whatever, it's more about the execution and what we kind of throw out there. So we do that naturally. It's really easy.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, that's an awesome story. So you guys go way back, and back to
doesn't feel like it though, man. But I can't believe you can't believe that. Just touch over a decade ago. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but the last 10 years have just gone like that. And,
see you later, man.
It's just
I
absolutely insane.
I'm a very sentimental person, and I think a lot of things that really stand out in life really just they stick to me. Yeah. So,
COVID didn't help it though. The lockdown.
I'm having to wipe it out. Yes,
2 to 3 years virtually. That kind of So I dare say that's why 10 years doesn't feel like 10 years because 3 of them didn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's sort of a different time, like 10 years ago, 2010, 11, 12. Like, felt like it was a really good music scene. And I'm not saying it's not now, but I think back at that time, it was a really good time. You had, like, the Gershwin Room, the Prague for a little while. We played a few gigs there. Revolver. I don't know, just all these venues, and a lot of bands knew each other.
Dang.
Yeah, it was just a really good time, I thought. And
there's a lot of bands playing as well. There's a lot now, but there was just bands playing all the time. Yeah. But I think I dare say some people sold their gear and over that break, and whether you're not playing and could get jobs and things like that, and yeah.
Yeah, I found once we hit that 30 mark, some people either kept going or they dropped off, and yeah.
Yeah. So, and I guarantee a lot of people get back into it again as well. When they settle down or they have kids or whatever, you find. I guess one thing I've seen is a lot of people they then go, you know what? Yeah, now the kids are kind of grown up or I'm settled in my job. They dust off the guitar and they miss it. Yeah, and they start doing stuff again. So that's really cool. But it is that point. I agree. Like at 30, and you start seeing that thinking, oh geez, it's only a matter of time until I'm on my own here, or I might be the one who has to pull the plug somewhere. So
yeah. So you guys have got an upcoming tour of the UK. So you've obviously got Luch on board for that. Tell us about this upcoming tour. How long are you going? How many shows? How crazy it's going to be?
Well, we're going for just over 2 weeks. Yeah. We have Hard Rock Hell, obviously, is the main reason why we're going, and we're working around that festival. Which is really great. The promoter there was super keen to get us on. So Dave Warner from Headstone Records, we're good mates, and he's been looking after us with his team. And he's always I've gone through ups and downs with his band, over the years, and he's always kind of said, "Keep going, man." And he's that positive person. Always similar to him, always glass half full, and don't worry about it. Just keep going, mate. It's not a big deal. And so we scored this gig, and it just kind of happened, Lee is a original drummer from the band. He's got some personal stuff, family stuff happening, career stuff. It's all good stuff. And I was like, fuck, what do I do now? And I was having this chat at Drummers Paradise, Guitar Paradise, it's up on under one building, and I was like, fuck, man, I might have to hire somebody, blah, blah. And the Luch is sitting behind the screen going, you can see him like a kid about to explode. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Danny's kind of been a permanent fill-in since the start of the band, pretty much. We've gone through a few bassists, and we've always had that connection. But every time we've kind of tried to commit, push the band, he's been busy, or vice versa. We found somebody, and the fact that the three of us all played in moments apart, we already had the connection. We've played together before, so nothing was foreign. And they're all mates. So we're all mates, and it was easy. It was super easy, and it's almost like the stars aligned. And we've got a really strong lineup, and we're ready. We're all hungry, and it feels good.
And that's what it is. I think hungry, motivated, and we're all on the same page. We all have the same common goal aligned. We're all pushing the whole thing, whether it's a social media thing or just getting to the rehearsals, learning what we have to. But I think one of the best things is we're having a lot of fun doing it too.
It's like driving to Albury. It was a long week. We had to drive up on the Friday, drive back after the gig. And, I was driving up and back just fine. So I work in transport, man. So the long hauls, I'm okay with that. I thought, fuck, it's going to be a long drive. You know what I mean? It's a long way, especially after the gig. But it didn't feel like that because we have this. I think we'll like certain bands that we might not, extend to, but our core band that we were brought up on, core bands, we all love. So we started talking about just rare Bon Jovi stuff or whatever, and it was very easy, and the trip went quick, and it was just fun. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'll be saying that after the 2 weeks. But at the moment, I'm not sure if it's like a honeymoon period or the novelty there, but it's really good.
It's all been fine. I think we'll be all right. I'm sure we'll will be moments where we're going to be tired and smelly and gross and probably you do get sick of living in each other's pocket. But at the end of the day, I think we're all pretty respectful. If we need to give each other space, I think we can. I think we can be quite cordial on that.
Yeah,
so
I think we'll really enjoy getting up there and doing what we've kind of I've been planning to do this for a long time.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. This thing's gonna fly, and I think because we're actually doing quite a few shows. I think we're hoping we're doing about 10 or 11.
Yeah, I think we have
in about 15 days.
Yeah, so we have about 8 booked, I think, officially.
Right, and there's more to come. Yeah, so I think the thing is we're going to be on stage a lot, playing a lot, and you know what? It might sound like a lot of work, a lot of playing to do in 2.5 weeks, but I reckon it's what we're there to do. But I reckon it'll be over in the snap of the fingers, and then you'll probably look back and go, "Geez."
Well, that was 10 years ago.
If we can extend the tour out longer, we'll see. Yeah, but it's 2.5 weeks of that we're really looking forward to bringing this amazing music to the masses. Catering to a new audience, to a bunch of people who don't even know the band. I'm sure some who've already done their research on the band, but there'll be a lot who don't know who WARBIRDS are. And that's it. It's just okay. Well, let's see what the response is going to be like from this audience. So I guess you get a feeling it's going to be a lot different to what you deal with here, because here you're dealing with obviously your family, your friends who are going to come and support you and so forth. Over there, you're dealing with a bunch of neutrals. So whether they stick around or walk to the bar or go and have a smoke, we'll soon find out.
Yeah, that's so exciting. Like just bringing new music to a whole new country and smashing out a whole bunch of gigs in such a short time. You guys will be on fire by the end of it. And you're also raising money through a possible campaign just to help out with the tour and the costs and that sort of thing. Is that the Order of Chaos UK tour fundraising campaign? Is that still live and still going?
Yeah, I've got another probably 2 or 3 weeks. I think it's going for.
To the possible campaign is going till the 22nd of October. A few days before we head over.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll chuck a link in the. I'll chuck a link in the show notes for that one in case anyone wants to chip in and help out, because I can imagine something like that taking all you guys over. It's not going to be cheap for you, and you guys have got to eat somehow. So yeah.
Only so many cheeseburgers we can consume. We're going to need to get a decent meal eventually.
We have to upgrade to some bangers and mash. Yeah.
How are you going to live without the F45 training, Luch?
I had a feeling there was going to be an F45 thing in this.
The concern on petrol and stuff like that, we'll get Luch to jump out and push the van, and that way he can get his workout in.
Yeah. And
we'll save a bit on fuel.
So done.
Run off all the cheeseburgers.
There's going to be a lot of crap. Yeah. I'll definitely be looking forward to training when I get back. But I have looked at locations in the UK as to where they have F45 in case I'm
I knew it.
I think we're just going to be so tied up. Look, we're going to be outperforming more than having such free time. So it's like just go all in for this for 2 weeks, get silly, eat, drink, sleep, play, do what you got to do, and then I'll worry about my fitness when I get back. Yeah.
Luch will be out in the car park doing push-ups when you guys are waiting for him at sound check or something, doing laps around the car park out the back there.
Yeah. One more.
I'm taking when I get back to Australia. I've actually taken the week off just so I can get a couple of sessions a day in, just to sweat it all out, all the nastiness. Yeah.
Now, when I saw you guys at the Tote a couple of weeks ago, you started playing this song, and I'm like, that sounds familiar.
No.
And I'm listening a bit more. I'm like, oh, maybe it just sounds like something that I know. And then it dawned on me, it's that song from the movie Rockstar, We All Die Young. And I'm like, what an amazing cover to choose to.
Oh, I thought it was going to say Reality Check. I'm not a big fan of Reality Check.
That was awesome, man. I haven't heard that song for years. And actually, I haven't seen the movie for years. That was one that I used to spend a lot of time watching. But
we all.
It's funny, that movie. It gets such a bad rap, even amongst the rockers. They're like, oh, it's such bullshit. It's all far-fetched. It's a freaking movie, man. That soundtrack, the best non-band, non-real band of all time.
Well, yeah, and had some of our favourite musos playing on that soundtrack. Zach Wild for me.
And that, for no good reason. I think we're just thinking about what covers to do. I just popped up, said I think Danny might have played the riff a little bit.
Yep.
And
that's right. Yeah,
looking at doing a Dio song or something like that, because I've kind of stepped to that kind of vocal style, I suppose, in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
And started jamming that, and then we kind of just said, we'll just screwing around and kind of locking it down. And then when we started doing the harmonies, it kind of worked pretty good. Not an easy song to sing, man. It's up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good fun, and we had a few responses exactly like yours. Steve Redden, the singer from Vendettas, said the same thing. Like, "Fuck, man, I knew that song. I knew it from somewhere. Kill a movie, man." And literally the same reaction.
Yeah, it's not one you sort of expect to hear, and but
great song.
Yeah, great song, and it suited you guys to a T. So
yeah, nice, thanks, man.
Fucking well done. Yeah, that was awesome. And another song. Obviously, Bring Back Your Love was the first song I checked out from you guys, being the new single and everything. Great song, of course. And then I stumbled across Collider, which was that your first single you've dropped this year?
Yeah, this year. So basically,
that was the Tote. That was the first Tote this year.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was a Collider launch. That's right. So basically, there was a leading single from that album, because the album was actually finished and completed and kind of not I want to say rushed through, but we wanted to make deadlines so we can have it ready for 2020. But that was finished late 2019. So there's a song called Freak in the Night, which is a leading single, which we dropped at the end of 2019. And obviously, the rest is history, what happened then, after that.
Yep.
And then we regrouped. I decided to shelve it. I thought, I'm not going to release it to nobody. We can't play anywhere. So, but it's maybe a blessing in disguise as well. It did my head in eventually, don't get me wrong, But, like we were saying before, a lot of bands pulled the pin, or we've kind of called it a day, and we've got a really great body of work that's ready to go. So it's worked out good. And Collider, that's the first single we dropped this year.
Yeah, and the video was really awesome as well. It really suited the mood of the song, I think.
Yeah.
So you were basically sitting on this album for a couple of years.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
So when you're saying that song is awesome, sorry?
Yeah, that must have been hard to just sort of.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would have.
Like I wrote that song 4 years ago, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you do pre-production and you fine tune it, and then fine tune it again when you're tracking. But
yeah,
it was a long time ago.
Wow. So the album Order from Chaos, when is that dropping? Or no date yet?
I'm not sure. We're discussing that with the label, with Ed Soren.
Yep.
On how to distribute that. I was hoping that we'd be able to drop maybe 5 or 6 singles from it.
Mm-hmm.
These days, albums, for us, albums are super valuable, and we love a body of work.
Yep.
But at the same token, people just love to hear the songs kind of come out. So I thought usually an album you do 2 or 3 back in the day, 2 or 3 singles max before you drop it. Whereas I thought maybe this one will be good to drop 5 or 6, but I don't think we will. So I'm not sure if we'll release the album officially globally before we leave, or we'll do it Europe and then come back and kind of launch it back here. So I'm man. So it will be soon, though.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is it's in your hands, I guess. Whatever you decide to do, and yeah, I think you can release 5 or 6 singles off an album now. Like, because you got to sort of get the most life out of it that you can. Because you're not recording a new album every couple of years anymore, I don't think, unless you're lucky enough to be able to do that. But yeah, kind of free to do whatever we want these days, really. So have you got any shows in Australia before you take off over to the UK?
Yeah, we have one more on the 40th of October at the Leadbeater Hotel. Leadbeater. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I say Leadbeater.
I say Leadbeater.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Victoria Street, right. Richmond.
Yeah, Church of Victoria, And we're playing with good mate Delacoma, so that's like his return gig, and this will be our farewell gig. So we've teamed up. He hit me up to see if we wanted to jump on, so we're going to treat it as a joint headliner.
Yeah.
Should be a good night, that one. I think, because we're going to have. Are we having a camera crew there?
Possibly, yeah. So we might do a live set, like a live recording as well. And so we're going to push that gig as hard as we can. The Possible campaign as well. I'm kind of leading up to that show, and then after that, we're kind of effectively pretty much packing our bags and getting out of here.
Sweet. So, where's the best place for people to jump on and follow you guys? Facebook, Instagram?
Instagram, Facebook are the main ones at this stage. Bandcamp will be updating soon. WARBIRDSrock.com is like the main website that we use for connection. It's funny because we probably should have kept Warbirds Rock as the title, kind of the working title of the band, because when you jump on Spotify and YouTube Music, you put in Warbirds and you get Warbirds aeroplane sounds.
Yeah.
So when it does a shuffle, you hear that's a F51 and it's a Mustang 357 or whatever, and it's just aeroplane sounds. So we're kind of fine-tuning what we're going to do there.
Great idea. Yeah. So what's your history, Anth? Like, did you grow up in a musical family? Were you playing in bands early on? Were you playing solo? What were you doing?
Yeah. My brothers, you hear this story a lot with older siblings. My brother's, a bit older than me, and basically I had his CD collection and record collection when I was growing up. So I was just like, you wouldn't normally have a 7-8-year-old listen to the Doors or Motley Crue and Zeppelin and those kind of bands. So that's what we had around. So, and Van Halen was my first kind of connection to music.
Yep.
I think. Mum and Dad weren't musical at all, man. They were immigrants here from Croatia, and they came here really young. So it's your cliche kind of work hard, just work and get a job and just work. So I'm like, I initially wanted to play drums, and they just kind of laughed at me. So
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so guitar lessons, so guitar lessons were for free. Drum lessons was $7 a lesson. I thought I'll do guitar, and I picked it up pretty quick, and had a good mate that taught me a lot of stuff as well. And yeah, man. So that's all I did in high school. Like I was kind of the class clown and kind of naughty boy through primary school and early high school. And then once I started playing guitar, that's all I did. Yep. After school, I just spent hours and hours in the bedroom, and I was finding like old car speakers and stuff in Dad's garage, and I hooked them up to the back of the amp, throw one under the bed, one in the wardrobe, and kind of get this big sound. And I didn't have money to buy a freaking Marshall stack, so I had a little practice amp, and it stemmed from there, man. Then I started a band with some mates called Baby Doll Junkies, which was an 80s metal band back when Jet were kind of big, all that kind of indie kind of rock, I guess, what you want to call it. Yeah. We were playing fucking, Poison meets Van Halen meets Motley Crue and that kind of Wolf Bammy kind of stuff. And
early 2000s?
Yeah, early 2000s, man. Yeah, 2001, about 2004. Charing Cross as well was another band that kind of stemmed to that, which is good, man. It's got an EP lying around somewhere. And then I took a hiatus, so we all had a bit of a falling out, as you do. Everyone's got an ego and whatever. And then I played acoustic, like a acoustic trio, playing covers, trying to make some of that money back. And then started this band, with a couple of mates. It's just a bit of fun, and that kind of, I guess, dropped off. So then I kept pushing it. I kept pushing the 3-piece thing. Pre-Winery Dogs, I'll say that now. But well, massive influence on us anyway. But I just kept it going, man. Like I said, first drummer got married. I poached him from a band, and then he got married, and that was number playing. It was one of those scenarios, and we just kept going.
Revolving door, members.
Yeah, and I think I kept writing, and now we're here. Kind of long story short, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a massive sound you guys have got for a 3-piece. I think you sort of, if you're listening outside of the band room, it sounds like there's more than just 3 of you up there. The bass sound is huge. Your guitar sound was huge. Big drums, and of course you got the two vocals some of the time. So it was a massive sound. I noticed you had is it a Victory head? I was sort of looking at those at one point. How long have you been using that for?
Probably about 5 years. There wasn't that many in the country, man. Deluxe guitars here in Melbourne were, I think they were stockist.
Yep.
And at the time, because my main amp, which I haven't used in years, I use it to record now, but it's a big EVH 5153, the Ivory 100-watt monster. And the 3-channel piece. So I think maybe I might have bought the first one that was in the country because it was actually an American amp, so I need to get an external transformer to be able to use it.
Oh, wow.
And that kind of fell in my lap, and it's a fucking monster. It's an awesome thing, but it weighs 26 or 28 kilos, and it's horrible to carry, and, it's a lot of amp. And I love, listening to Guthrie Govan and also Richie Kotzen as well, that both endorsed by Victory. And effectively, the Countess Mark II is his signature amp. Govan signature amp. And I bought it from a bloke that had buyer's remorse that bought it from Deluxe. And 2 weeks later, had to sell it for whatever reason in Richmond. And my wife was working in Richmond at the time. And I said, here's the money. I didn't even plug into it. Just go buy it, And it's killer. It is awesome.
Yeah, I noticed I've been on the Deluxe website a little bit. I mean, I don't need another amp, but, you're always on the lookout for a bargain. I've got the... The 5150 behind me.
The Icon. Yeah, iconic.
And got a 50-watt stealth downstairs, so I definitely don't need. But I just saw the sort of compact, sort of small size of the Victory, and I'm like, oh man, that would be handy for gigs. And I just sort of wonder what it sound like, and sort of kicked ass at your gig and into the Strat as well. So huge sound. So it was good.
All the good sauce.
And I'm taking it. I'll be taking it with me. So I'll probably wrap it up. It comes in its own gig bag, and I'll just wrap it up, put it in the luggage, and hope to God it gets taken when I'm on the other side. So
what are you taking with you? Sorry, you go.
I was going to say it was actually designed to be as onboard carry-on. It's about 8 kilos. So I think if you're flying around the UK or the States, and it's been domestically, I should say, it's fine to take on board.
Okay.
But I think with international flights, you can't carry any more than 7 kilos.
Right.
I'm kind of spewing because I just wanted to carry it with me, But we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah.
But I do want to take it with me because it's the sound. Yeah.
Just keep it on your lap, nice and safe. And
like a cat.
What about guitar wise? Are you obviously taking maybe your Strat over there?
Just that one.
Yeah.
I do miss having a Floyd, or I've always used a Floyd of some description, whether it's blocked or floating.
Mm-hmm.
That 6-screw trem on it's good for vibrato, like gentle vibrato if you're playing like Dire Straits or something like that. But for what I kind of usually use, it's hard to keep in tune. There is method to the mayhem, but while I'm singing as well, it's too much work.
Yeah.
So I was looking at possibly upgrading that. I won't be doing it before we go. I'll just make sure I don't put that arm in there because I get carried away, and by the end of the song, an E major sounds like an E minor, whatever.
What about you, Luch? What are you taking with you over to the UK?
What guitar am I taking with me?
Well, yeah, sure.
Oh God. Fortunately, we're going to have a kit set up. It would be totally non-viable for me to bring an entire drum set over. But I will just the bare essentials for me. So bass pedal, all my cymbals, and my beautiful Mapex Black Panther Predator snare drum, the one which I used at the Tote gig a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
We went through a few. Yeah. We went through a round of my snares at the rehearsals.
And I love it. Like, I love drums. I love listening to them. I love the look of them.
Yep.
So it's not like he's going, he's brought another snare drum in. Who cares? I love it.
I wanted something that I wanted to find something that was going to be suitable to the band, and this is actually the one which I purchased for my 40th birthday a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And it's the one. It seems to be the one.
It was the first one.
It was the first one I brought to rehearsal, and it was like every hit was just, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It was like so good. Everything else was great, but there's something about this copper shell that just sings, and it's just like, oh my God. And even after the gig, actually, like, I had 3 people, especially Lee, from WARBIRDS, he came up to me and asked me, I want that snare, or what snare is that? Like,
and mind you, you guys also use same snare, the other one. The
sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was going to be my other one, but
which makes you blink every time it's hit. It's that loud.
It just hit your face. But no, so this is a good one. So the good thing is, I still get. I mean, unfortunately, I've got to carry a whole bunch of shit around with me. So just recently acquired the hard case of sport, and same with Anth's situation. I hope it all gets there in one piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. But that's the stuff that I need to get me going. I'll use whatever else. I'll make do with whatever else they throw in front of me. You just got to sometimes. Just going to be happy to be over there and just playing. Yeah, whatever you give me, just as far as drums wise, it's good.
Well, some of the back one that we've seen is another band that's actually over there at the moment, kind of using the same book, and some of the kits look awesome.
All right.
So
much better than what they give us here then.
Yeah, it wasn't bits of kind of thing stuff together.
Frankenstein kit.
Yeah.
One time here and one over in the next stadium. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to hear your kit out in a big room, Luch. I guess a couple of times we've jammed, in your little jam room, which is fine, but then to hear it out in a big open room is really opening up that sound.
That's with all of us as well. Like initially. Yeah. Look, some sound guys are like, if you turn it down, please. I'm like, I'm not going to turn it down lower than our rehearsal body, so to speak, But it is nice to have, sometimes a quad box. I usually use a 212, which is ample. But it's nice to have a big quad, pushing a bit of air, and it feels good for all of us,
That's right. And we know your gear as well. And we've all got, our from like you guys, the guitars to your heads. Obviously, for me, it's the drums, it's the cymbals, it's everything that's got to work well. And I think. We're all gearheads. That's we know what we like, and I think you hear all the stuff that we use. We're all very passionate about our sound, about our own personal sound and our instruments and what can be delivered. And I've seen some of the footage from the show, and I listen to every little detail about what's worked. I'll watch the same clip 5-10 times and hear it. I'm thinking, my God, everything just sits well. Obviously, the sound engineer is doing his thing and getting everything mixed right and everything, but having the right, like I said, the right tones to blend with the right sound, for the groove of the vocals, whatever it might be. And it's just, it's all come up really nice. It's good to hear. It goes to show you put money, you spend right well into the right things. You invest well, you get the return.
Yeah, we've been playing for a while, man. So we've wasted a lot of money on shit over the years. So you're learning about what we need, and
you never stop. You never stop doing that either, right?
Yeah, it's actually.
So you will have a victory. You'll have a victory head one day soon.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, maybe. There's a pretty good deal on one at the moment at Deluxe, and but I'm still sort of in buying guitar mode. So I've got a few amps, but I've got to sort of control myself and just say enough's enough. But it's a bit of a journey, isn't it? It's like
I never say enough's enough.
And it's not enough to go to a guitar shop. I don't think. Like, you get an idea of what's going to work and what's not, but sometimes you got to buy something, go home with it, spend enough time with it. I'm sort of trying to sell off a few other guitars at the moment, but it's not a good time to. I think some people are doing it tough, and it's not the best economic situation at the moment to buy and
mix,
sell.
Man. I mean, it's but you still see some expensive stuff move. It's a weird situation. You are right, man, but be careful with selling guitars, because I regret selling something, to fund a trip or whatever. Like, man, I wish I had that telly back or whatever it was. It might be just also sugarcoating something you don't have anymore. So you might pick it up and go, it's actually not as good as I remember, you know what I mean? So look, guitars, man.
You use it once or twice. I mean, you miss it because it's like, I had it. Had a good name. Like I did the same with snares. I probably had about 20 snares in my life, and I've sold half of them. I love what I've got 6. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I have now. I love all those. I look back and say, I had the Joey Jordison, or the Dennis Chambers, Jimmy DeGrasso. Actually, that's hurting a little bit saying this. but look, I used them. I didn't need them at any more at the time. So I'm happy with what I got. Until the next thing comes along. That's just how it is. It's a lovely. It's an enthusiast thing, and I think it's just part of the journey, isn't it?
I still regret selling my Marshall stack. Like, it was about 10 years ago, because the last band broke up. I'm like, I'm done with this rock shit. I'm going acoustic, and I couldn't wait to sell it. And I sold it for cheap as, and it wasn't until about 4 or 5 years later that I truly regretted it. And because you don't just go out and buy a expensive head and a cab, 4-speaker cab every day. So I
what head was it, Craig?
It was the JVM 410.
Okay, yeah. There's a lot of amp there, man.
Yeah, it was heaps, but
a lot happened in there, man. A lot of versatility, yeah.
Very much so, yeah. So I, still regret selling that, but we must move on. So give us what's that possible website that people can sort of donate to help you guys out on the tour?
I'll give you the specific. It's on our Facebook page, so WARBIRDS Rock.
Okay.
/Facebook/WARBIRDS Rock. You'll find it on there.
Yeah.
But
I'll put all the links in the show notes as I always do, and I'll include that one as well. So
best go to the WARBIRDS Facebook page. The link is on there with all the slashes and dots and commas and whatever else is on there. So just cut and paste. Yeah, you'll be right.
Beautiful.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Better let you guys go, and I know you got a lot of work to do for the last show, and then the tour coming up. So thank you very much for coming on the show tonight. It's been a pleasure to have you guys on. Maybe next time we can do it in person and have a bit of a longer chat and sort of nerd out on some gear.
We love it. Yeah, we love it. Time goes so quick, but I just want to say a big thank you for having us, and obviously for Luch introducing us as well.
Absolutely.
It's good to so people that give a fuck genuinely and want to kind of push the local scene. It's important, and it's awesome. Thank you, man.
Absolutely, man. Well,
thanks, Craig. Really appreciate it. As always, man. I enjoy getting together with you, doing this, or having a beer with you, whatever it might be, man. So let's do it again soon. And getting the word out. You talked to a lot of local artists with what you're doing with the podcast. And trust me, it goes a long way for for them, for the scene, and it's very heartfelt. We appreciate all the time you spend, obviously, getting the podcast ready, your questions, and we always feel very I've always felt very comfortable with you. So thanks for making it always a wonderful experience. So thank you.
Absolutely, guys. Well, I wish you all the best overseas and look after each other. Try not to kill each other. It's only 2 and a bit weeks or whatever, so I'm sure you can make it through.
We're going to come back better and with more shoes.
Yes.
Yes. Well, maybe I don't know. You're probably not going to have much time over there, but maybe you can check into the podcast. Just a bit of
that'll be cool while we're away, man. We'll have time. We'll have time on the road, dude.
Yes.
Well, Luch and I are always in touch, so maybe just hit me up if you feel like it and just come on for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, it'd be great, man. Just short,
Yeah, cool.
Well, even before a gig or something after sound check, or we can do something like that. That'd be pretty cool. You might be getting up 3 in the morning, but
oh yeah, the time difference.
We'll work it out. We'll hold you to it, man. Let's do it.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you guys, and all the best for the tour. Congratulations on the new single. Look forward to the full album whenever you decide to release that. And
thank you.
Hopefully we catch up in person next time. And
definitely.
All the best. Take care.
Amazing. Thank you. Appreciate you, man.
No
See you on the road.
Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll catch you again soon for another episode of Foxx on the Wire.